Princess Diana of Themyscira, known to the world as Wonder Woman, is one of the greatest superheroes in history. But who is she really? Not even Wonder Woman herself knows for sure. Memories of a life she never lived are at the edges of her mind, and most shocking of all, she cannot find her way to Themyscira, the mythical island of the Amazons. Welcome everybody to another exciting episode, another edition of A Week in Geekdom here on YouTube. We are continuing our week of wonder, a whole week of celebration to the character of Wonder Woman, one of my favorite comic book characters. And today I have a very special review, something that I have been itching to review for a while now, ever since I got the book, and now is the perfect time to do so. Yes, my friends, I am talking about the first volume of the new Wonder Woman Rebirth series. This is volume 1, The Lies, and I just gotta say, this has an epic, sad, but beautiful rendition of the character in a way that I was not expecting. It moved me a bit, and it left me a little bit confused at the same time, and I'll get to that in a second. Basically, you don't really need to know a whole lot. You just need to know that there was the old continuity, then the new 52. Now we're doing the whole Rebirth thing, and we're going back to the previous older continuity before the Flashpoint and the new 52 stuff happened. So in true comic book splendor, you can't just simply erase things overnight and make them as they never were, because, well, you actually spent, in the case of Wonder Woman, I think it was nearly 60 issues establishing a story with characters and all that stuff. Now with the New 52, it's actually one of my favorite New 52 reads and overall DC books. I really loved what Brian Azzarello was doing in that book, and presenting a hip contemporary look at the War of the Gods, if you will, of Zeus and Olympus and all that stuff with the character of Wonder Woman. Now in this Rebirth series, it's helmed by Greg Rucka. Greg Rucka, of course, known for his famous Wonder Woman run back in the day. Now he's back at it again and doing a really good job at it. I have some qualms with it, but I'll get to that in a minute. I just want to keep praising the amazing ability to take this famous character and still explore what makes her tick, what makes her such a unique force of nature, and why so many people love the character. And Greg is able to do that by having the character question the old memories, New 52 stuff, and asking herself who she really is, and we get a fantastic introspective analysis, if you will, of what makes Wonder Woman, if you will. Even the character herself is asking the definition of what wonder means to people, or what it used to mean, or is it a question, whereas before it was an awe and amazement. Stuff like that really makes you think about the character in a way that you don't do a whole lot with other comic books. I really dug the hell out of it. I think it's a fantastic story. Now, the art done by Liam Sharp and so many others in charge of the art in this book, it's just breathtaking. It's oozing with cinematic flair and gusto that few other titles in this Rebirth era that we're living right now has. Many of them look great, but this goes above and beyond to set itself apart and really present a cinematic version of Wonder Woman in comic book form. It's just really breathtaking. From long panels of just a cascade, to the jungles, to seeing one of my favorite DC villains is Cheetah, simply because there's something cool about the fact that she was an archaeologist, or this version of Barbara Minerva, and the fact that, you know, she gets turned into this beast form that just wants to kill everything and everybody, and has this raw, intense power, and was a former friend of Wonder Woman. They have been rivals for so long, and really it's all Barbara's fault, but you know, that's the way it is with rivals. And in this book, this gets explored once again. If you may or may not know, I'm not going to go into full spoilers here, but Barbara used to be an archaeologist. She was interested in the lasso of truth. She tried to steal it from her. Wonder Woman was shocked because she finally had a friend outside of Themyscira other than Steve Trevor and all that stuff. So the rivalry begins. Eventually she finds the plant god Urs Kartaga. I hope I said that right. And she is given the cheetah powers. Now in this DC Rebirth version, it doesn't get explained all that well how she came about to getting these powers, or at least in these first few issues. I think I have like the first 6 or 7 issues or something like that. You just know that she's working for him, for this plant god, and she is to be the bride of this deity, where later on you find out why and how it happened, all that stuff. You don't really find out. Basically, in this tweaked new origin for her, she stumbles upon it, and she's imbued with the powers of the cheetah and protector of the jungle and all that stuff. But you know, her thirst for blood overpowers his sense of divinity, if you will. Wonder Woman is there looking for Cheetah so she could help her regain some of the spark that was lost and some of the memories that are jumbled in her head. And where does she belong? Why can't she find her way back home? Because she previously tried to do so, couldn't find it, and is worried sick about it because in one swift panel, Greg undid everything that was done in the New 52, and some people were salty about it, but from a storytelling point, it's actually so simple and so beautiful that I commend him for doing it. I'm like, if I were in charge, I'd do it as well. It's a fun way to acknowledge what was written, but not completely throw it out. During Azzarello's run in the New 52, she was the god of war. Now she's trying to figure out her new lease on life, if you will. She can't find her home of Themyscira. Previously, the path was always open to her, but now she can't find it, and it's up to her team up with Barbara or Cheetah to do so. And that is actually pretty cool, that two rivals can set aside their differences to focus on particular goals. You have Cheetah saying, you know what, you do that, you help me, and we'll figure something out. That was actually pretty badass. Now, the character of Steve Trevor shows up. I think he's still with Argus, correct me if I'm wrong. The interactions are always golden between Steve and Diana. You feel like you're there with them and you haven't missed a beat. It's still fresh, exciting, and quite heartwarming, the relationship that they may have. So as for the negatives of the book, I would say if you have not read New 52 stuff, you are going to be confused because you're basically missing a huge chunk of, I think, like 5 or 6 years of stories that are being retooled, revamped, if you will. And that to me is the biggest problem for somebody that's trying out, oh, let's do Wonder Woman Rebirth. It's a great title, you won't be lost, but certain pages you'll be a little dumbfounded as to who's this, who's that, and you're gonna want to have to go back and dig a little bit on the previous runs of the characters to get what is happening. That could be a deterrent for some readers out there. Plus, there are a lot of scenes in the book where not a whole lot is going on. Yes, there is dialogue that explains things in a sophisticated manner, but it is somewhere during the end of the first act and the middle portion of the book, it slows down a little bit, and I was, interested to see where it was going, but it definitely picked up the pace, and the end result is quite literally a cliffhanger that I was scratching my head about, and I can't wait to read volume 2. Now here's the thing, if you're new to this Wonder Woman thing and comic books and all that stuff, this Wonder Woman title has a rare exception. Volume 1 tells one story and Volume 2 tells a second story. The second trade, if you're gonna get it, is the origin stuff. It's a flashback story, if you will. And then the third trade continues the story that I am reviewing here right now. So yeah, great writing, interesting plot that's being developed, interesting setup, interesting characters. I love the art. And like I said, it is a little bit slow paced here and there, and some of the decisions and characters are a little bit lost and jumbled if you have not read any previous books, but you won't be lost at all. You'll still enjoy it. I love, by the way, the awesome, dark, realistic, and almost horror-like interpretation that Cheetah got, that was just fantastic in my opinion. So yeah, what do you guys think? Wonder Woman Rebirth Volume 1. Let me know down below. Do you like this title? Is it your favorite amongst the DC Rebirth line? If not, tell me why. As always, guys, you can follow me on your favorite social media platform. Like, subscribe, comment, and do all that awesome stuff that you guys do. You can follow me on your favorite social media platform from Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Snapchat, and many more. Just type a Week in Geekdom, and I'm there for you guys. Alright, I gotta go. I have one more cool video for you guys on this Week of Wonder. I can't wait to bring it to you guys. I will catch you on our next video. Urs Cartaga means complicated plant in Spanish.